name is Miss Cassie, and I'm a librarian here at the Dell Rapids Carnegie Public Library, and I'll be leading the STEAM camp this summer. To start things off, what is STEAM exactly? It stands for Science, Technology, Engineering, Art, and Mathematics, which sounds a lot like doing school in the summer, right? But it's not. Whether you're designing the next iPhone, building a giant tower of Pringles to eat, or drawing a picture, you're using STEAM concepts. So today, we'll be making a pendulum painting, which in and of itself is pretty cool. But pendulums can be used for more than just art. There's a famous man by the name of Galileo. He was an astronomer about 400 years ago, and he was one of the first people to study pendulums, and he used it to help discover that the Earth revolved around the sun and not the other way around. Another famous scientist who used pendulums was Sir Isaac Newton, otherwise known as the man who helped discover gravity, and he used pendulums to help discover the laws of motion. All right, let's get started. You're gonna need a bit more supplies for this one, but they should all be pretty easy to have on hand. So, you're gonna need some styrofoam cups. You could do only one, but if you wanna have more than one paint color, I would grab a couple. You're gonna need some string, scissors and tape, and then paint. You'll probably want to get washable paint just in case things get a little messy. All right, and once you've got all that, then you'll need to set up your pendulum. So this one, as you can see here, is not exactly very official looking. I've got two chairs here with an opening, and then I just stuck a large stick through. This one's a butterfly net. You can use a broom, a ruler, anything that's strong enough to hold a small cup. You'll want to set out a drop cloth or newspapers just in case the paint doesn't go where it should. And then I just taped 4 pieces of white paper together to make my canvas. All right. So, first, we've prepped the workplace with the newspapers. Next, we're gonna prep the pendulum by poking a hole in the bottom of the cup. Younger kids might need mom or dad to do this one because you are using a sharp object. So like so. And then you'll want to do a hole at the top underneath the handle. So one there, and then one on the opposite side, right about there. It's okay if it's not exact. You know, this doesn't need to be perfect. All right, next, you'll want to get a piece of string. It can be whatever length you want it to be. You just need it, you know, something that you can fit through the holes. Like so. So now you've got a handle, and now I'm going to create my pendulum and tie it to the stick. So it can be whatever height you want it to be. If you've got a longer string, it might be closer to the ground. That's okay. So, got that one. And then I also prepped another one, which I'm gonna put over here. And I'm gonna hang this one lower, I think. So we'll see if that changes how it looks. All right. So we've got 2 colors here. So I'm gonna start this off by practicing and making sure it works. So I've just got some water here, and I'm just gonna pour a little bit in. So keep in mind, there is a hole here, so it's gonna spill out, but I'm just gonna pour a little bit in and swing it across. So the water, as you can see, it's splattered all the way across. So it's got a pretty wide reach. So now that we know that works, it's time to add our paint. So I'm going to use blue and purple. So to make that work, you're gonna take your tape and you're gonna cover the hole at the bottom. Doesn't need to be perfect. This is just really quick so that the paint doesn't all fall out while you're prepping it. So let that water drain out. And then tape over it. All right, so now I've got my 2 paints. I'm gonna shake them up a little. And I'm gonna pour, I don't think I need very much, so I'm just gonna pour some. Kind of smells like paint in here. Ooh. Okay, so now I'm gonna add a little bit of water in to make it more runny. Oh, and it's already dripping, so I'm going to take the tape off. This one. And this one. Take a bit. So this one, so my paint's a little watery, but you can see how it's like creating a little different effect. Let's try moving it. So we've got a wide reach. So you can try experimenting, try adding just a little bit of water and see if maybe that makes the paint color thicker. Or you can try adding a lot of water and just a little bit of coloring and see how that affects how it turns out. So, you know, maybe try adding one that comes just above the paper or one that's barely off the stick. See how it works. Take a picture. It could be fun. So, how does a pendulum actually work? The way it does is that it's actually the gravity of the earth that pulls them down towards the earth, and then a force called inertia keeps them staying that way until an outside force, in this case me, causes them to swing wildly, like so. Then it'll keep swinging until that outside force diminishes and inertia once again causes it to slow down, which is why this one is no longer swinging. All right, well, that does it for today's activity. Thank you for joining us. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. We'll be doing several more experiments through the course of the summer, and I hope you can join us next Monday at 10 a.m. See you then. Okay, so if you saw in the first part of the video, the painting was a little watery, and so we had to do a couple experiments to try and get it to look a bit more like what we were thinking. So what you see here is the results of takes 2 through 17. This is why I suggested washable paint. If you're anything like me, you will probably have it on more. I've got it on my knees. I've probably got it on my face somewhere. So after multiple rounds of experimenting, we discovered that the hole at the bottom of your cup, it needs to be very big. Our paints are thick, and even adding water was not enough. It had to be a nice thick hole so the paint could easily come through it. Once we made the hole bigger, it came out really easy, and it gave us this fun little splatter pattern you see here. So yeah, we've got experiment number 3 and experiment number 5 over here. Didn't quite turn out right.
I think experiment number 4 ended up in the garbage.
Yeah. So, you know, that's +1 point to the scientific method. It works. We just had to tweak it until we figured out how to get it to work just right. So the main thing is, yeah, you want a big hole there, and then probably 2 parts paint to 1 part water, and mix it up with this little handy dandy thingamajigger we've got here. Just mix it all up so it's nice and smooth, and then you are ready to make a mess. All right, that does it. Thanks. Okay, so take 18. So if you want to see how we got to this part, you'll just want to skip to the end, and you can see how we were able to figure out how to actually make it work. So we're gonna start off. I've got a fresh cup here. I'm going to be mixing my paint separately ahead of time. So I've got some green paint here. I'm gonna pour in a healthy amount. So like so. I'm gonna dump in some water. So about 2 parts paint, 1 part water. You'll have to experiment with it a little. And then I'm going to mix it up. You just kind of want it to blend in, be all smooth. It's like so. As you can see, it's gotten a lot smoother, so I think it's about ready. Okay, so now our cup, I've made a nice big hole. So now I'm gonna move these out of the way. And I'm gonna good. And it back and forth. So if you add a little bit more water, it would be a bit more runny, and so it might come out faster. So then you might get thinner droplets. What we have here, it almost looks like lily pads, so that's kind of fun. You could almost try creating like a water effect. So we've got our lake here, and I don't know, purple mud. So yes, this is our actual working pendulum painting. You know, it doesn't have to be perfect. The whole point of this is to have fun and get creative, you know, mix your colors, experiment with what worked like we had to do. Hopefully it won't take you quite as long. So with that said, thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoy the bloopers.